Hello and welcome to News 18 Global with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Our top story, former Vice President Mike Pence will officially launch his presidential nomination in Iowa next week, pitting him against his one-time boss, Donald Trump. Pence will hold a kickoff event in Des Moines over the 7th of June. This will be on the 7th of June. Now, sources close to the former Vice President have revealed that he will be starting off his campaign with an official video announcement. His team sees early voting in Iowa as critical to his potential path to victory, and advisors say he plans to campaign aggressively for the state's conservatives. The campaign is expected to lean heavily on town halls and retail shops aimed at showcasing Pence's personality as he tries to emerge from the former president's shadow. Remember, he was subservient to Donald Trump for many years, especially when it came to the insurrection at the Capitol building, where many of Donald Trump's supporters shouted, "Hang Mike Pence." Now, Pence will join Trump, Biden, and Vivek Ramaswamy, among other campaigners.
In the coming days, two familiar faces are set to enter the 2024 Republican presidential primary: former Vice President Mike Pence and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. That's according to sources familiar with the candidate's plans. Pence will soon launch his campaign with a video and speech in Iowa. A source tells Reuters Christie will launch his campaign at a town hall in New Hampshire next week. And both face an uphill challenge in taking on former President Donald Trump. Pence, who incurred Trump's wrath by refusing to support his effort to overturn the results of the 2020 election, has increasingly distanced himself from his former boss and has said Trump's encouragement of rioters on January 6, 2021, put him and his family in danger. But Pence has continued to embrace many of Trump's policies, while portraying himself as an even-keeled alternative. He has also appealed more directly to the evangelical Christian community, having spent significant time in recent months touring megachurches across the country. But he's seen little success denting Trump's popularity. On June 1st, Pence's polling average in the Republican field was less than 4%, compared to Trump's 53%, according to a Real Clear Politics average of polls.
And then we'll see what the voters decide today.
As for Christie, he enters the race as a decided underdog 6 years after his 2016 presidential campaign failed to gain traction. Only 1% of Republicans said he would be their preferred 2024 nominee in a Reuters Ipsos poll conducted May 9th to May 15th. The former governor was an early backer of Trump in 2016, but he's been dogged by his own political scandal known as Bridgegate, where aides testified Christie knew about a plan to close lanes leading to the George Washington Bridge and create a major traffic jam to punish a political rival. Pence and Christie would join an increasingly crowded field, one that includes Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, in running against Trump in the 2024 race.
So that is the pitch coming in from Mike Pence. He has thrown his hat in the ring for the presidential race, which kicks off on the road to 2024. He was once the darling of the Trump base, ladies and gentlemen, but now he has become enemy number one ever since the insurrection took place, where many people, especially in the Trump base, wanted him to overturn the election results. Remember, the entire Republican Party voted against certifying the election results in the House of Representatives. But then, as that entire controversy sailed through, Mike Pence now continues to find himself at the firing end of the Trump base because many think that he betrayed Donald Trump. Now, let's get to our guest. I'm joined by Stephen Golub, international affairs expert. Mr. Golub, how do you see this pitch coming in from Mike Pence, where he's throwing his hat in the ring for the White House? He is not a favorite of the Trump base. In fact, many Trumpers believe that he betrayed Donald Trump. So how do you think the dynamics plays out in the Republican Party as he pitches to become the next president of the United States?
Well, basically, I see him having very little chance of succeeding in getting the nomination. It could be that he's running because he feels that there's a chance Donald Trump will drop out or be very damaged either by the indictments that he may face or due to his health. So those are that's a consideration. Or as with some candidates, he may be looking to raise or to re-raise his profile so that he can get another book deal, appear on CNN for that matter, get good speaking fees, high speaking fees. Those may be considerations for him.
But then we all remember the insurrection, and I'm sure you also remember those slogans outside the Capitol building where Trump supporters shouted, "Hang Mike Pence," during the insurrection. Isn't he hated by the powerful Trump base? Isn't that a concern for him as he's running for president?
Oh, yes. The one thing that Mike Pence did that indicated a real independence from Donald Trump was he refused to take action to allow Trump to, let's put it bluntly, try to steal the election. That was, even as someone who isn't a big Mike Pence fan on political or policy grounds, that was a courageous action, but it did account for much of the Trump base, as well as some other Republicans, turning quite vehemently against him.
And given the rise of so many Republican candidates, you also have Ron DeSantis. Now Mike Pence is entering the race. It seems that the Republican Party has fractured into multiple tribes. In your opinion, where does Mike Pence fit into this tapestry of different political interests that the Republican Party finds itself in?
With the evangelicals, that's why Donald Trump picked him as a running mate to begin with back in 2016. Mike Trump has a lot of popularity still with the evangelicals, but not enough to really secure a nomination unless things radically change with Trump's prospects. One thing I want to get back to regarding your very good question is Mike Pence might still feel that he has a serious chance of winning if enough things go right for him, if he does surprisingly well in the first real test, the Iowa caucuses next year. It's just that in the opinion of many observers, or most observers, including myself, he doesn't have much.
Right. You talk about the evangelicals supporting Mike Pence, but at the same time, if you look at Joe Biden, he is a very devout Catholic. So when it comes to the support from the Christian belt in the United States, if there is a Biden versus Pence contest, how do you see that playing out?
That's a good question. If they were to end up pitted against each other, we're really talking about different constituencies. Even though Joe Biden is a devout Catholic, he doesn't feature that nearly as prominently in his political identity. For example, he's not against abortion, which is really something fundamental to at least the official leaders of the church, though not all Catholics in the United States. Mike Pence, as a Protestant evangelical, is appealing much more obviously and strongly and intentionally to the Protestant evangelical community.
And we're all looking forward to the debate stage. And I remember in the previous elections where Donald Trump was facing off for the Republican ticket, he ate up the competition. Jeb Bush and the other Republican leaders over there, he literally ate them up. Now, if I'm imagining a debate stage with Donald Trump, Mike Pence, and Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump will eat both of them up. He will destroy Mike Pence. He is also likely to destroy Ron DeSantis because his command over the Trump base is so strong, he can rally a lot of Republican voters against these two candidates.
Yes, definitely. But there's another consideration, or at least two other considerations. The main one is that Donald Trump's strength as a candidate, in addition to his own appeal, his own charisma, hinges to some extent on how many Republican candidates there are. If it's just him against one or two others, let's say Ron DeSantis as the main candidate, Mike Pence also in the race, then the votes are divided to much less of an extent. If it's him against 10 other candidates, which seems very likely, there are already 6, including him in the race, not including Pence, then the vote gets split much more, and he doesn't need a majority of votes to get the nomination. And that's really what's in his interest and what he's hoping for.